What's up, you beautiful people of Earth? I'm the wokeindigo 11, and today I'm going to be telling you the true story of Tesla versus Edison and why our history is wrong. So, to start that off, I'm sure you'll all remember back in junior high, high school, even elementary school, you learned about the light bulb and you learned, ooh, Thomas Edison, he's this brilliant scientist who worked really hard, and they use him as a story of like perseverance. And they kind of almost make him seem like he's an inventor scientist, like a Einstein or something. They make him appear like a hero. They make it seem like, oh, he changed our world. He brought light into the world, blah, blah, blah. He created the light bulb. He created all these inventions. And you guys, I just want to tell you something. History is written by the winners. And you guys probably realize that, but if history is painting Thomas Edison in this light, that means he's the winner. And if we go back to what actually happens, you'll find out that Thomas Edison is not a good guy. He's not even a scientist or an inventor. He's a businessman. And he's pretty much the biggest douchebag in the history of the world. And without Thomas Edison being alive, our technology would pretty much be like 100 years in the future. So, Tesla. If you don't know who Nikola Tesla is, I've talked about him in a little bit in a few previous videos. He is the single most brilliant, most underrated, and honestly a hero for our times. And here's the basic Tesla versus Edison story, all right? Thomas Edison is this super rich guy that owns this company that creates inventions, and Nikola Tesla is this brilliant scientist, and he goes to work for Thomas Edison. And Thomas Edison says, hey, I got a job for you. I want you to figure out how to make electricity more efficient, because Thomas Edison was using DC, or direct current, which is so inefficient that pretty much in order to power just the lights in a house, you need to have a power plant like every 1 square mile. That's how inefficient it is, okay? Which is pretty much unrealistic, for everyone. And so he assigns Tesla this job, create more advanced electricity, and Tesla creates AC, alternating current, which, if you don't know, is what we still use today over 100 years later, because it is infinitely more efficient, you guys. And so, Edison promised Tesla, he said, if you do this for me, I'll give you $50,000, which back then was like millions, a lot of money. And Tesla says, hello, Mr. Edison, I have done what you've asked me to do. I would appreciate if I could have the money that you promised me. And Edison basically says, go screw yourself. And he refuses to pay Tesla the money that he owed him. And thus the rivalry was born, you guys. Tesla versus Edison. And Edison, he was focusing on the DC current, and pretty much the only advantage of DC current versus AC current is that DC current can't electrocute you and kill you the same way as easily. And so, for example, the only thing Edison could do to promote DC current and say it's better than alternating current was to say that alternating current is dangerous. And you might have heard of this, but Edison went to little boys and girls in the neighborhood, and he paid them money to buy their cats and dogs and pets so that he could publicly electrocute them with alternating current. And there's actually a really famous video you can look up on YouTube of Thomas Edison electrocuting a baby elephant, you guys, just electrocuting him to death. And he goes, this is what alternating current does. This is what alternating current's going to do to you guys. And he was basically just trying to create fear inside of them, because he knew that was the only way that anyone would be convinced that DC current was better, because it's not. So that's kind of the start of the story, but it gets even more crazy, you guys. So Nikola Tesla, he was pretty much the most advanced person scientifically to ever live. And he did things we still can't do today. Like, we still can't figure out how he did it. Like, he could create a ball of lightning. He could draw lightning down from the sky. And he invented death rays, earthquake machines, like things that like sound pretty crazy in 2019. And perhaps his most famous invention And unfortunately, one of the biggest RIPs of our generation, Tesla figured out how to create unlimited free energy and send it across the entire planet. And he had this tower called Wardenclyffe Tower that he was building, and it was going to deliver power to an entire city for free. And it got shut down because of JP Morgan, which, if you've seen my Is the Government Corrupt video, you already know that that guy is a very evil man. And pretty much Tesla, he wasn't really allowed to help humanity because, you see, Edison and Tesla are on two different ends of the spectrum. You see, Edison was not a scientist. He was not an inventor. If you know much about Steve Jobs, Edison was kind of like the Steve Jobs of the company. He was the vision guy, the guy that runs everything, but he doesn't actually do like the sciencey stuff. Like when they talk about the light bulb, they make it seem like, oh, Thomas Edison himself was the one who was testing everything. No, he had a lab of people doing everything while he sat back and, smoked a cigar. So on one end, you got Edison, who doesn't care about anything other than money and power and influence. And then on the other end of the spectrum, we've got Nikola Tesla, the scientist, the beautiful, beautiful soul who just wanted to help the world and make the world a better place. And you guys, they're not compatible at all. Edison did pretty much everything in his power to stop Tesla at every stop, every chance he got. And it started with him being dishonest and not paying Tesla the money he owed him. And you guys, Edison wasn't just a douchebag, he was evil, okay? The first death from radiation in the United States from X-rays was caused by Thomas Edison, which, when X-rays were discovered, Tesla even warned how dangerous they were, and Edison just kept testing them on this girl again and again and again until she died. And Edison actually made himself go blind from X-rays, from X-raying himself too much. And that's just one thing. Another thing, Edison was involved in the government and was on like a defense council, and Tesla had invented this new type of scanning system for like airplanes and stuff. It's like radar, and basically Edison refused to allow Tesla's technology to enter into the United States government. And if he hadn't done that, I can't remember if it was World War I or World War II, but one of the world wars, we would have literally been able to like save hundreds of thousands of lives. Honestly, it might have been like Pearl Harbor. I'm not 100% sure, but like if it was Pearl Harbor, we would have been able to see them coming like a long time before, so it wouldn't have been a surprise attack. And Edison was responsible for that. So what you guys need to know, history is written by the winners, and pretty much you've been lied to. Edison did not invent the light bulb. He had a team of people who invented it. Edison wasn't a scientist. He was a businessman. And they don't even teach about Nikola Tesla hardly at all in school, but he was literally the most underrated and important scientist ever. And there's a quote from Albert Einstein. Someone asked Albert Einstein, how does it feel to be the smartest person in the world? And he responded with, I'm not sure. Why don't you ask Nikola Tesla? You guys, history's written by the winners. And it is so, so unfortunate because without Thomas Edison, without JP Morgan, we could have free electricity right now, and we could be 100 years in the future. I mean, we think our technology's advanced now. Tesla was doing things we don't even know how he did, like back then. And you guys, it sucks because you grow up learning, oh, Thomas Edison is this good guy, blah, 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 and they don't even talk about Tesla. But what is the truth, you guys? Everything's inverted. Everything's twisted. They want you to believe Edison was a good guy. He wasn't, you guys. He really wasn't. We have to question our history. Everything that we think we know is probably wrong. And honestly, it is the greatest tragedy of our generation that Tesla was not allowed to have more power and more influence, and more of his inventions weren't allowed to see the light, because if they were, we would probably be in like a Star Wars type civilization right now, you guys. I mean, here's some more things Tesla could do that we can't figure out how he did. He literally could invent things in his mind, and if they would work in his mind, like the blueprints, they would work in real life. And if they wouldn't work in his mind, they wouldn't work in real life. He had this power of intuition, and I'll talk about this more in another video, but it was actually declassified that Tesla is an alien from Venus. You guys, there's an FBI document that states that. So knowing that, that even makes Edison even more of a douchebag, because literally Tesla was like this alien, brilliant scientist, and we could have learned so much from him. And a lot of his work was suppressed due to evil men, greedy men, because JP Morgan was funding the Wardenclyffe Tower where Tesla was going to deliver free energy, and he found out, oh, it's going to be free. Why would I want to invest in something that I don't make money on? I don't know, for the benefit of the world, considering that he's a billionaire, literally created the Federal Reserve and has unlimited money, and they don't care about us, the elites, the people at the top. I'm not talking about the 1%. I'm talking about the 1% of the 1%, you guys. Those people, out of sight, out of mind people that we don't even know, they don't care about us. If they did, if the selfish greed of JP Morgan and Thomas Edison didn't exist, we would have free power, unlimited energy, a clean earth, a healthy, happy earth. And we probably wouldn't have so many of these problems we have in our society today. So, hope you guys learned something in this video. Things are not what they seem, as usual. We have to check our history, because most of our history is wrong and a lie. I'm the wokeindigo 11. Hope you liked this video. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace, love, and namaste.